Good evening, folks, and welcome to Garbage Theater's Hobbit Trilogy Special Part 3, World of Warcraft the Movie. Oh, wait, no. What's it called? Battle of a Bunch of Assholes.
Yeah.
I'm your host, Chase, my co-host, Blake and John.
Hello.
Let's get this shit show finished. Last one.
Whew. It's been a journey.
The last scene of the trilogy. Hey.
Yeah, this is the one, like, you know, I like these movies, but this is the one that definitely, it's like, all right, enough.
How many pages was the actual battle in the book?
It was 2 paragraphs. The battle started. They found Thorin dead. The end.
Damn. R.I.P.
Had to fill a lot of holes there.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Like, honestly, they tried to make his death more emotional, so I get that. But you know, all the other shit in there, I don't know. It was just a lot. It was a lot. Especially like when they did the extended version, it was like, okay, it's enough.
Oh man,
I think
haven't even seen those.
I think they let the interns that designed Balg just do this whole movie.
Yeah, probably. There's a lot of questionable things.
Which I'm sure we'll touch on all of them.
We will.
Okay. So, anybody have anything to state in general before I get rolling?
Do you guys think this is like the worst looking one of the trilogy? Like the VFX were somehow worse than all the rest of them?
You know, I've never thought about it, but yeah.
I mean, this one's definitely the green screeniest one.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a real...
Whenever they showed like an army of guys, it was always the same guy.
Like, just duplicated.
It was the same army. Yeah, the same armor.
Yeah, when the dwarves came over the ridge, they're all the exact same dwarf.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's true.
I get they should be wearing the same, uniform basically, but they were like exactly the same.
Yeah, and it's kind of a shame because there were a few moments that could have been like really badass moments, but they just kind of fell flat.
Yes.
Well,
Dane coming over the hill, like that could have been a really badass moment, but it wasn't.
Well, he had like 30 guys with him.
You and you. Come on, we're going to war.
Because Dane's like such an awesome character, and it wasn't. I don't know.
I've got my own issues with Dane.
Oh, yeah, I have. Oh, that. Yes,
we'll get to it when he makes his hog riding appearance. Which
could have been a battle pig. That's fucking awesome. But I don't know. It will get there. That's at the very end of this hot mess.
All right, so we open up on Lake Town, and it's in a panic because Smaug is awakened. And the Master and Alfred are piling all the town's treasure onto a big flat boat so they can hightail it out of there. They're kicking old women and babies into the water because they're not saving anybody.
The real monster is man.
So Smaug starts firebombing the city, and just that opening blast pretty much wiped out the whole town.
Yeah. No, I mean, it was a bunch of rickety barges. And for some reason, Stephen Colbert's there. Well, we know why he's there. But,
does he have I didn't see him in this one. I saw him in
He's
the
got
other
a cameo. I don't know if it was right at this point, but he's in there. Which is cool, because, like, obviously he is, like, the most knowledgeable Tolkien person on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But it took me out of the movie, because it's like, oh, Stephen Colbert,
Yeah. Who do you think knew more, Stephen Colbert or Christopher Lee?
Stephen Colbert.
Really?
Yeah, they did a big thing about this. When he showed up to the Hobbit set, they had their their for lack of a better term, their tokenologist
Mm-hmm.
that like makes sure everything's kind of where it needs to be. And he was also the same guy in Lord of the Rings that had that job.
Mm-hmm.
And they decided to have a little trivia contest, and after a couple hours, that guy declared Colbert the winner. So,
who knew more, Colbert or that guy?
Colbert.
Oh my god!
That's what he even told Peter Jackson. He's glad that he didn't know who Stephen Colbert was when he did Lord of the Rings, because that's the guy you should have hired.
Damn.
No, like, he knows his shit.
I mean, I've seen him go off a few times on TV, but
no, they like this was their expert, and he was like, "Nope, he's the guy."
Well, there you go.
Well,
Which,
shit.
like I said, should definitely get you a part as a Lake Town extra,
Yeah,
at least.
he earned his cameo.
Yeah, but it just took me out of it.
He didn't push harder to be a character.
Right.
So.
Well, it's the same thing. Like, every time I see it, I don't know. I know it's not really a cameo, I guess, but Brett from Flight of the Conchords and Lord of the Rings takes me out of it all the time.
I don't know who you're
he's an
talking
elf.
about.
He's an elf in
Is he?
Lord of the Rings.
I don't think I've ever seen him.
I don't think I've ever seen Flight of the Conchords.
Like, I've seen all the Peter Jackson cameos, but
right.
he's the only one that I really knew of that was like someone I should be looking for in the background.
Right.
He's got a line or two in Lord of the Rings.
Really?
Yeah.
No idea.
Well, considering I have no clue who you're talking about, I guess it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about it then.
So anyway, Toriel grabs Bard's kids and the dwarves, and they get on a boat and they start paddling out of there as well. Bard's in a cell still. He's trying to break free. He throws a rope out the window and snags the master's barge and the master with it as it passes under, and the leverage rips open the wall, and he gets out.
Like, I'm going to use this phrase a lot. Highly improbable.
Yeah, this is the first hint that physics don't apply in this movie.
Yeah, it's like, they tied boats to docks with ropes, right?
Right.
Hey, that boat was cooking.
The boats aren't all floating away, dragging docks behind them all the time. Like, no way.
That boat was cooking and had about 80 tons of gold on it. Put like that inertia, something. The science happened and the wall fell down.
Mm-hmm.
So he gets free. He grabs a bow and quiver and he gets up on the roofs and he sees Smaug flying around. So he climbs up the bell tower and he starts taking pot shots at Smaug. The dwarves see him hitting Smaug with the arrows, but Toriel says, there's no point to that because normal arrows can't do anything to a dragon. So Bard's son, Smitty, I don't know his name, he sees where he stashed the last black arrow, and he jumps off the boat and he runs and gets it, and little Barty brings the black arrow back to Bard, but right as he gets it to him, Smaug flies by and smashes the bell tower, and it breaks Bard's bow in half. Smaug lands and he sees Bard up in the bell tower and he starts mocking him as he's walking up to him. So Bard takes his bow and just jams it into some shit, and now it works again. He uses his son's shoulder to balance the black arrow, and like these things were fired from a big mechanical 4-armed crossbow.
Yes.
He's got a broken bow wedged into some pillars, and it's going to be just as effective.
And I'm going to go ahead and say that, yeah, I know that the arrow's just resting on that kid's shoulder, but I think it would have done some damage.
Yeah, I mean,
this is,
it's a substantial arrow.
Instance. Highly unlikely. The whole situation.
It's really not as much an arrow as it is a harpoon. So, he aims it, Smaug charges, As he's charging, Bard sees the little scale missing on Smaug's chest. So he launches the arrow. They go straight into the little hole. Smaug flies up in the air, gagging and coughing, and dies and falls down onto the Master's barge because that's how it had to happen. From Erebor, Thorin and company see that Smaug's been killed. So Thorin looks back at the main gate of Erebor, and he knows he's got to get back there to protect it because they're going to be a-coming. Title card. Congratulations, Smaug, chiefest of all calamities. You were wrapped up in the cold open.
12 minutes in.
They couldn't have taken out some of the stupid love story crap from the second one. Let Smaug be the climax of the movie titled after him.
Wow.
Well, they could have. They really, really could have. Because, like, that stuff was reshoots, if I recall correctly. Like, the Evangeline Lilly signed up to be on the movie with the stipulation that she would not be in a love triangle.
Oh, wow.
And that, yeah, she said this. I guess because after Lost, she didn't want to be the girl that's always in love triangles.
Right.
But, and then they came back, later for reshoots and put her in a love triangle with Legolas and which one?
Keely.
Yeah. So she was annoyed about that. And it also added useless stuff to the runtime.
Yeah, like a whole third movie.
Yeah, look, they waste a lot of time on useless things. They could have spent, if you're going to spend time on things, spend more time on Bard. Establish that he isn't just some, barge rat that knows how to use the bow. He eventually becomes King of Dale and whatnot. I mean, he's, an important figure. Along with his kids and grandkids. They all go on to do great things. But, let's focus on the love triangle that wasn't supposed to be there.
Yeah, with a character that doesn't exist. Yeah. So, Lake Town's destroyed. All the people of Lake Town wash upon the shore, and Bard saves Alfred from getting a lynching, and the people
Which he
proclaim...
should not have done.
No, not at all.
Okay, I mean, Alfred obviously fucking sucks, and ruins, like, every scene that he's in. He should have had the dragon fall on him.
It was like this trilogy needs a worm tongue, and
Yep.
Boom.
Pretty much.
But, like, oh god, Wormtongue wasn't a joke the entire
I
time.
know. He wasn't comic relief, yes. But yeah, as soon as he washed up on shore, Bard should have been like, first task as your leader, running this motherfucker through. And everybody would have been behind him then.
So they declare Bard their leader because he killed Smaug. So he tells them we should all go and take refuge in the ruins of Dale. Keely, Feely, Oin, and Boffer all return to Erebor. After Keely gives Toriel his rock or something as a memento, because Legolas is like, we're out of here. Thorin's already starting to go crazy. Bilbo pulls Balin aside and asks him asks him about the Arkenstone, and Balin tells him that he's afraid that if Thorin gets it, it's gonna completely consume him. And Bilbo, he's got it. He just doesn't want anybody to know.
So at this point, Bilbo says that Thorin had been down there for days. It felt like the next day, like after Smaug, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Add pacing issues to the movie.
Yeah. And I mean, I know there's that kind of stuff in Lord of the Rings, like big swaths of time pass that doesn't seem like it does.
Oh yeah, if you don't know the backstory, like the time whenever Gandalf leaves Frodo with the ring, the time he comes back to get him, it seems like it might have been a couple days, but really it was like years.
Yeah. So that's not foreign to Tolkien.
You do have to condense, all this into a movie. So, like, I get it.
Yeah, I mean, but there are ways to communicate the passage of time.
Yeah, show some scarabs or
get some ducks in there.
Yeah.
Gondor isn't down the street from the Shire.
No.
No matter what the Eagles may have you believe. Or the Moths, for that matter. So, meanwhile, Bolg meets up with Azog and tells him that he spotted an elf army approaching Erebor, so Azog tells him to get up to Gundabad for more orcs.
Mm-hmm.
Back in Dol Guldur, Gandalf's in a cage, but Galadriel shows up to free him, and then all the Nazgûl show up and start battling everyone, and then one by one Elrond and Saruman all show up, and this is my least favorite part of the whole movie.
Okay, I agree. It was meant to be this battle, but it has no basis to happen. Like, okay, these events did happen, but it didn't go down like that necessarily. So it could have been done differently. I think that it was trying to shoehorn, trying to show that these people had more powers than just what they had. Like in Lord of the Rings, you knew that they were powerful beings, but they didn't really show it. Like Galadriel really didn't show what she could do.
Yeah.
And I think this was just she really is a badass, even though she's just a high elf, but whatever. It was once again padding for time.
So
I mean, I agree that this whole part felt kind of cruddy. Like the VFX felt weird. I don't know what they were doing with the Nazgûl guys. Like the effect they had on them, they were like glitching or something. It was pretty weird.
Yeah, especially since we'd never seen that before.
Yeah, I will say I feel like they looked cool as hell though.
They always look cool to me. I agree.
Well, here they look like straight up Dark Souls bosses.
Mm-hmm. No, they looked awesome.
They looked awesome. They just ended up looking like the Ghost of Christmas Past later, though.
I don't like how Galadriel turned green. Like, I didn't like that.
That part made me laugh.
Because the whole thing is supposed to be like when she's amped up. She's like, okay, she gave the light to Sam to ward off the spider and all that. Like, it should have been a bright light, not a green one.
Yeah. She turns into Meg Mucklebones.
Yeah, it was weird.
She looked awful. And then she looked like someone just dumped a bucket of water on her head. She looked like the girl from The Ring or something.
Then they decided that Saruman was the most jellicle of all of them and sent him to Mordor in a hot air balloon.
Yeah, they have their big Power Ranger battle. Saruman's doing his Donatello thing.
Mm-hmm.
Then Sauron appears, but Galadriel overpowers him and blasts him off to Mordor.
Am I wrong to think though that like it's weird to see wizards do like melee fighting? And like it bothers me. It bothers me in Lord of the Rings too, where like Gandalf's is swinging around his staff and like dual wielding with a sword and stuff.
Yeah, it seems like something you wouldn't have to do if you're a wizard,
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like a chef doesn't prep the vegetables, you know?
Yeah. Throw some fireballs, goddammit.
Right. Yeah, fireball.
No, I know they didn't want to go the fireball route with it. They wanted to make his like the wizard's powers more like, I don't know, not cartoony like that. Like when he's fighting the Balrog, it's just like it's practical stuff. He breaks the bridge or he makes the shield.
I get it because the wizards in the books and all, they didn't do stuff like that.
Mm.
But they also didn't get into bow staff battles either. So. Like, Saruman never turned into Darth Maul and went apeshit. Like, it just didn't happen.
That's just fun. That's just a funny visual to have, like, some elderly man,
yes,
spinning his
whipping his
old man.
Yeah.
So Radagast arrives on his rabbit sled to take Gandalf back to Erebor. And Elrond says that we should go after Sauron, but Saruman tells him, no, you leave Sauron to me. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
Back at Dale, Thranduil arrives with the army of elves and makes an alliance with Bard because he wants them diamonds he was cheated out of back in the day. Bard heads over to the main gate of Erebor, hoping to convince Thorin to be chill, but Thorin ain't chill. He won't give him the treasure that he promised the people of Dale of Lake Town for helping the dwarves out. And he says, I'm not going to give you a single piece of my treasure. And so Bard gets pissed and leaves. The dwarves armor up, and Thorin gives Bilbo the mithril shirt. He tells Bilbo that basically he's the only one that he can trust, and he's suspecting his own family at this point. That night, Bilbo sneaks out of Erebor, goes down to Dale. Gandalf's arrived. Him, Bard, and Thranduil are having a little talk when Bilbo struts in and plops the Arkenstone down the table. It's like, boom!
Yeah.
He says that he claimed it as his share of the treasure, and they can use it as leverage to get what Thorin promised. So the next day, they all ride back up to the gates of Erebor with the elven army, and they demand Thorin uphold his promises. And they show him the Arkenstone, and Thorin's like, nah, that ain't the Arkenstone, you bastards. And then Bilbo says, no, it is the Arkenstone, because I gave it to him. And then Thorin tells the dwarves to throw Bilbo off the wall. They're like, what? And so he's like, I'll do it myself. So he grabs Bilbo, and right as he's about to throw Bilbo over, Gandalf steps out and yells, and they're all like, ooh, it's Gandalf. Boffer pulls Bilbo aside. He's like, dude, you gotta go.
Yeah.
This man will kill you.
Bard asks Thorin if he'll have peace or war, and it looks hopeless for Thorin. He's outnumbered, but then he hears the marching on the hillside, and here comes the army of dwarves, a good 15 of them.
Look, this could have been so cool. Once again, Dane is like an absolute badass. And yeah, I didn't realize this until, once I had the DVDs. But you have this CG Billy Connolly for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
And at first I was like, okay, well, that was a weird choice. Maybe they had to do it because of the pig and whatnot. I don't know. But then when you watch the DVD extras, they had him in full makeup and everything. But they decided to do CG instead.
Did it just not look good?
It looked fine to me when he's sitting there in makeup making all those Billy Connolly-isms and looked good to me. I mean, it looked just like the CG version, but real.
That's
so
really
I don't know
weird.
what happened there.
Yeah.
And look, like I said, it could have been so cool. And there were parts of that army that I thought were cool, like the Rams and all that. But
yeah, the Rams are cool.
And what he says to Thranduil, which I'm sure we'll talk about in just a second. But
the Rams just made me feel like this was even more a WoW movie.
I thought it was cool.
Oh. They all come over the hills.
I didn't like that all the Rams were identical to each other, but I did like the Rams.
That's what I mean. Just Control C, Control V, Control V, Control V, Control V.
Mm-hmm.
So the dwarves come over the ridge, led by Dane, and the elf army pivots to meet the dwarf army. And Dane yells at the elves, would you mind sodding off?
Mm-hmm.
They're about to have at it with the dwarves when the orcs arrive. So Dane pivots the dwarves. They all run around the elves and get in front of the elves. So they're in between them and the orcs now. So they're going to meet the orcs head on. And
this was dumb on the orcs' part. Like, if they'd have just waited a little while.
Yes.
Those two would have fought.
Mm-hmm.
Cocky orcs.
Yeah, just let them go.
So Thranduil's just kind of watching.
Azog.
Thranduil's just kind of watching, and Gandalf's like, dude, come on. It's orcs. So
We hate those guys.
just as the orcs are about to clash with the dwarven line, the elves all bounce off the dwarves' heads like a goddamn cartoon and join the fight with them against the orcs.
I liked it. That's one of the things I liked. I liked the way that to me, there's some things that they captured. One of them was like, just like in the first in Lord of the Rings, the elven ranks, how they're just like precision and all move at the right times and get out the way. Like that's perfect. And the dwarves had kind of that too, but it was just a little more rugged. They made their little line with the shields, but they were just like, they're a war machine. It's awesome. And then to have them come together and then have like the elf music going when they're jumping over their heads and all that, I dug it. My pants were pretty tight.
I mean, I didn't hate that.
So inside
again,
air,
I did. Every single dwarf looked the same. Every single elf looked the same, and I think a lot of the orcs looked the same too. There's like maybe a couple of variations on their armor, but just gray monsters.
Yeah.
So inside Erebor, Dwalin pleads with Thorin to just go out and join the cause because Dane and them, they're struggling and they're losing the fight. Dane's out there just headbutting akimbo.
Mm-hmm.
Casually headbutting everybody.
They said, you know what? Dane's got 2 giant war hammers, but he's going to Leonardo these things. He's never going to use them. And he's just going to start headbutting folk because, the good 5-foot reach that he has with these giant hammers is nothing to the 1-foot reach he has with his head.
Yeah, I would have loved to see him using those hammers. Because they look cool. They're pretty intimidating. I mean, it's Dane fucking Ironfoot. Let's see him in action. But we didn't.
No. And Peter Jackson said, when he headbutted his 16th orc, he said, let me see 7 more.
I think something this movie is lacking is choreography. There's like no cool action moments, really, like there were in Lord of the Rings. You just kind of see the actors swinging their weapons around inside of a crowd.
That makes sense.
And then they try to create moments sometimes, but most of the time they're kind of silly.
Yeah.
I think.
Like 47 headbutts. 47
headbutts, like Thranduil impaling like 5 orcs on his moose or whatever, and cutting all their heads off.
Yeah.
Like
it's a horse named Moose playing a deer. Get it right.
Yeah.
My mistake.
Yeah, that was silly. That part was pretty silly.
Ay. So, Dane's calling out, "Where's Thorin? We're losing. This sucks." Thorin won't.
This sucks.
Thorin won't have it. He's just pacing.
This isn't what I was expecting when I came over here.
Yeah, he's pacing around his golden hall.
I thought it would rule, but it sucks.
So he starts hallucinating, and it snaps him out of his gold madness. And the dwarves of Erebor smash open the barricade with a big bell, and they rush out and meet the army, and they turn the tide.
I really think him snapping out of it by just them playing audio of shit people said to him before, it's really lazy and unsatisfying.
What I thought was unsatisfying is, they're all in full war gear, and when they run out and make their charge, no armor.
Yeah, why'd they take it all off?
Well, they gotta be spry.
No clue. Fuck it, we're doing it live. They're just going. That didn't make sense. And then I think I'd shared a picture with y'all a while back how just 13 dwarves totally changed the tide of battle.
Okay.
For some reason.
Okay. We all have children. we've all seen Mulan. Don't you remember what Pat Morita said? A single grain of rice could tip the scales.
I've never seen Mulan.
Come on.
Well,
I know who Pat Morita is, and I've eaten rice, but I have no clue what happens in Mulan.
Well, what seems to happen in the movie is the 13 dwarves come out, and then we just kind of ignore most of the rest of the battle. Mm-hmm. Like, we just follow them for a while, and then when we cut back to Dale, they've won.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's not.
Well, there's a good reason why they won. The big winged we win machines show up.
Oh, forgot about that.
But we're not there yet. So the orcs all attack Dale, and Bard's running around trying to get as many old men and women to fight as possible. Gandalf takes Thorin, Fili, Kili, and Dwalin up to Ravenhill, where Azog is commanding everyone with his big puppet.
Mm-hmm.
They plan to kill him because without their leader, the orcs will fall apart. So Tauriel and Legolas know that Bolg is coming because they saw him coming from Orc City. I can't remember the name. Gundabad. And so they joined up with Bilbo, who's been invisible this whole time, to go and warn Thorin. So Thorin and the dwarves clash with Azog and his forces. Bilbo gets knocked out, and then Fili gets killed by Azog. And this causes Kili to go crazy with anger and bum rushes the tower to exact revenge, but he gets stabbed and killed.
Okay, I will say this. When Fili gets it, that sucked. Like, I felt that one.
I agree. That did suck.
Yeah, that was like, holy shit, Azog really is a monster. And Kili, you don't like to see him get it either. I mean, he's so damn beautiful. And it wasn't. The first time I saw it, I wasn't expecting that because that isn't at all what happened to them.
Mm-hmm.
So it was cool to me to see something different. Because you didn't really see what happened to them in the books. You just know they died. But so it was cool, but it was kind of a gut punch to me.
I just thought it was kind of strange how Fili gets killed. Kili goes, no! Runs up. Kili gets killed. Tauriel goes, no! Runs up.
Well, see, it would have made sense if Tauriel wasn't there because...
Yeah. So, yeah. Kili gets killed. This sends Tauriel into a rage. She bum rushes Azog, but gets overpowered. Legolas pulls some bullshit with a big cow or something.
Okay, that thing... Like, the moment I saw that, I was like, what the fuck is this thing? It's like a troll that has no legs and arms, and it's just like sticks that it's walking and grabbing. So, like, it reminds me, you remember when Todd McFarlane made all those toys of like children's stories, but made them all gross and shit?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like they let Todd McFarlane make a toy.
Yeah, it had like piercings in its eyes or something.
Yeah, like chains coming from its eyes. Yeah.
Yeah, there were some pretty funny monsters on the orc side. Like, there's that one guy that just had a big, like, rock tied to his head that he rammed the wall with.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
he died.
That was ridiculous.
That was super funny. There was, like, that old man troll that, like, Bard hurled himself in a cart down a hill at.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I skipped over a good amount of the fighting in Dale because none of it mattered.
People are fighting, but none of it made sense.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, this is one of the moments they tried to create with like, this weird old troll is trying to... man troll is trying to kill Bard's kids. So Bard hops into a cart and rolls down a hill at it, and the old troll stops just to watch him. And then
he's like, "Look at this shit!"
His own kids, like by almost running over them. Oh man, highly improbable.
It was weird. Like this happened a couple times in Lord of the Rings too, where it's this massive creature, and they get stabbed with a sword that's equivalent to like a splinter, and it kills them.
It's all technique, man.
I mean, I think when Bard gets him, it's pretty like dead center chest area.
Yeah.
Like he probably got him. I'm fine with that, but the fact that it just like stops to watch him roll down a hill, it's like it's pretty silly.
Look, he's an old troll.
In all my years as an old troll, I've never seen anything like this.
Oh God!
I've been trolling for a while.
I think I'm gonna see how this plays out.
Yeah, and Bard keeps like trying to give command to Alfred. Like he keeps putting him in charge of shit.
Yeah.
You're in charge of leading the men. You're in charge of my children.
Yeah.
Gandalf's like, you're in charge of Bilbo. What? Like,
you're in charge of the ring.
In the trash. Throw him in the trash and get somebody that can do the job.
He winds up trying to.
Tells him to. Go ahead.
Yeah, so he winds up trying to Billy Zane his way out of the battle.
Yeah, I was gonna say he tells him to get all the women safe, and then he dresses like a woman, so he could be safe too. And a couple days ago, I saw a meme where it was talking about all the women of Middle Earth, and it had Eowyn and Galadriel and Arwen and all that, and him standing there dressed up like a woman. I was like, yeah, that's pretty good.
So, yeah. Long story short, I skipped all the fighting in Dale because it's pointless.
No, it's fine.
Didn't matter.
Yeah. What happened? Oh, yeah. Legolas, he rams the big troll cow into the bridge and smashes it.
Like Ratatouille's this thing. He like stabs it in the brain and is able to control it now.
Yeah. It's pretty ridiculous.
He did it in Ratatouille. Why wouldn't it work here?
And see, like I said, I like all these things, but like I love the stories and all that, but it was at this point where I was sitting in the theater like, what the fuck are we doing here? Controlling a troll with shit stuck in its brain and like, what are we doing?
Well, we then top that as Legolas Super Mario's his way up the bridge.
Well, hold on. Before all that happens, you start to see, even though it's way too soon, you start to see where elves and dwarves start helping each other. Because Legolas was almost about to get fucked, and then Thorin threw, I think he threw a bow or a sword, I can't remember, down to him to fight Bolg.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, oh yeah, look, they're helping each other, but one, Legolas wasn't even nowhere around there, and two, they're still supposed to hate each other.
Yeah. And then that's about to get paid back in kind.
Yeah.
So, the bridge is falling apart. Legolas hops, skips, and jumps his way up the falling bricks. Fights Bolg. This is where he sees Thorin struggling with the fight against an orc down at the bottom. And because Legolas still has, what's the name of the sword?
Orcrist?
Orcrist, is that the right one?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So he throws that down to Thorin. So he starts using that to fight. Legolas kills Bolg by stabbing him in the head, and then he falls off the bridge, and the bridge falls on him. Goodbye to bad design. The goddamn Eagles show up, because why not?
Why are you upset about that?
Because...
it's classic Eagle shit. Showing up at the last second.
It's what they do.
They like being the heroes. They were just chilling. They're like,
it's not even
guys,
that.
Now's our time.
No, it's not even that. Just the battle started, and it wasn't like everybody knew about it. And when the Eagles figure out what's going on, they go to help.
Why is it that the apex predator in a world of giant underground worms and dragons and monsters is an eagle?
Oh, do you really want to know why? They were created straight from Manwë, the highest of the Valar, and he tasked them with watching over Middle Earth.
So why do we need the wizards?
I don't know.
Again, feed the ring to an eagle. Shits in the mountain. Over.
Anyway,
if they're the Jesus Christ of the goddamn Middle Earth.
it's not that they're the Jesus Christ, but it's going to fall somewhere between them being Jesus Christ and going street trash with it and them shitting in the mountain. I mean, it's somewhere
all they
between.
do is eagle stuff, though. They just claw and peck, and that wipes the floor with anything that gets thrown at them.
That's not necessarily true. It's true in the movies, I guess. Which I do believe all the movies cheapened the Eagles. They're way more than what they are in the movies.
No,
much to Seagal's chagrin, they are sentient. They have their own language and all that. I think more could have been done with the Eagles. And this would have been a good trilogy to do more stuff with Eagles and show how they are and show that they're, individuals with names and all that. But they didn't. But you can't get pissed off for an eagle doing what an eagle does.
I think I can.
For me, the problem is that they have shown up at the very last second in 3 movies now. This would be the 3rd movie. It's the Deus Ex Machina problem.
Yes.
It's not the Eagles themselves.
And again,
it's just sort of bad writing.
Even though I know it sends Blake off the rails, this just leans more credence to John's theory that The Hobbit was its own little thing, and then he blew it up into a trilogy. Like saying, "Oh yeah, that was a good idea. Let me put those eagles back in here again."
Well, thank God we know that isn't the case. I'm still reeling from. I heard bad writing associated with Tolkien. I'm like, whoa.
I mean, okay, well, again, this whole thing barely happens in the book. So, did the Eagles show up in the Battle of Five Armies?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and they did the same thing. Well, minus the picking up of Thorin's dead body and whatnot, but spoiler alert, Thorin dies, sorry.
Yeah. So, the Eagles show up, Beorn's with them, he bears it up, and they turn the tide against the hordes. Thorin's battling...
Shit. Jumps out of the airplane.
Yeah.
That was
way down.
weird. I didn't like that. Like, I liked his transformation. I didn't like him showing up with the Eagles. That was bad writing, saying, how do we get Beorn here?
Well, the Eagles is the go-to answer for pretty much everything, so...
Yeah, he showed up on his own accord. I don't know why they had to have him doing a halo jump with the fucking Eagles.
So, Thorin's battling Azog on a frozen pond, and he defeats him for the first time the same way I would think you would defeat Bowser on an ice level, where he tricks him into smashing holes around him until he falls through the ice.
Yeah. It was a very Fall Guys kind of win there,
Using the physics against him.
Yeah. So he falls through the ice, and Thorin watches as his body floats under the ice, but his eyes pop open. I'm alive, motherfucker! And he stabs Thorin in the foot through the ice and bursts up through, and he gets Thorin down, and he's trying to stab him.
No, I got a big problem. I got a big problem with this, though. Like, how?
Yeah, I agree.
Can Azog swim like a dolphin? Or, like, how does he get the power required to break through, 10-inch thick ice and propel himself over the top?
Before that, how is he surviving in frozen water? Obviously not breathing or anything. For what? I'm gonna go ahead and say, 10 minutes?
Probably.
Yeah, he's an orc.
Another thing is, if you see somebody floating under the ice like that, and he's your mortal enemy, either you drive a sword through the ice and stab him one more good time, or you leave him the fuck alone.
Yep.
You don't follow him just waiting for him like, yeah, if he's gonna do something, he's gonna do it right about now. No, let that fucker go.
He used some of that boat momentum.
Yeah.
Water just works different.
So he gets Thorin down. He's trying to stab him. Thorin's holding him back. And then Thorin has a moment of clarity, realizing that he needs to let Azog stab him to get an opening to stab Azog.
Which is pretty badass.
So that happens.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
He kills Azog. He stumbles up to the edge of the cliff, watching the end of the battle. Bilbo runs up and comforts him before he dies. Excuse me. So he's dead. The line of Thorin is done. All the dwarves are sad.
That was pretty emotional too, though. Like, you kind of glossing over that. I liked it because it was Thorin realized that he was wrong. He's apologizing to Bilbo, and Bilbo just trying to comfort him, saying, "Look, it's the badass eagles." Like, those are his exact words. Chase. And I thought it was a good moment.
Look, it's the Johnny-come-lately Eagles. God damn it!
It is the MF'd Eagles.
Show up at the beginning next time, assholes.
They didn't know a war was going on.
Sounds like these Eagles don't know shit.
They showed up, didn't they? They found out when they found out. Damn it. Look, I don't like all the hate that the Eagles get on this fucking podcast. I really don't like it.
The Eagles could have saved all of Lake Town from Smaug.
That's not true.
They would have whipped his ass.
Not true. Number one, they didn't know what was going on. Like, they can't see. They don't see everything. They see what they're able to see.
So
is the implication that Beorn told him? It's like, yo, Eagles, we gotta go.
I don't think it's implied how they found out. I don't even think it's implied in the books how they found out. It was just they found out, so they came. Same thing with Beorn. Yeah. Beorn came because he saw a large army moving towards the Lonely Mountain, so he went because he hates orcs more than he hates dwarves.
Mm-hmm.
And he's either going to. When he saw those orcs, he said, "Well, I'm either going to let them stay in my house or I'm going to kill them."
Anyway. Legolas tells Thranduil that he's leaving Mirkwood because he's sick of this shit. And Thranduil tells him, seek out the Dunedain man known as Strider. Why?
Oh, that pissed me off.
That was a really weird...
There was no reason for it.
Why?
No reason
Legolas never goes looking for him.
No. Now, he eventually learns of him and everything, but that isn't how. There was no reason for that.
It was also just really awkward. He's like telling his father, it's like, I'm done with you. And his dad's like, all right, we'll go check out this dude.
Yeah. And by the way, in the future, you might meet a dwarf. Be easy on him.
If a dwarf sets the living room rug on fire, go easy on him.
Exactly.
I feel like Thranduil goes through a really weird character change at some point in the movie. He's like real mean to Tauriel, and then the next time he sees Tauriel, he's like, "Yeah, that was real, yo."
Yeah, because earlier he tells her that she shouldn't, because he catches her going to help Thorin and the group go up to fight Azog, and he tells him that it's not. He tells her that it's not worth it because the love that she thinks she has with Keely isn't real. And then now she's sitting there with dead Keely, and she's like, "My heart hurts." And he's all, "Yeah,"
which, as we know, is a problem.
She better get that checked out.
Yeah, she could drop dead any second.
I'll never love again.
Yeah, it'd be funny if she said, "I'll never love again," and then she just started like throwing up blood.
But yeah, between Thranduil saying that it's not real to Thranduil saying that it is real, like literally nothing changes between these two characters. So I don't. It's weird.
Yeah. That's what you get when you try to shoehorn something in there, I guess.
Yeah.
So Bilbo heads out, says goodbye to the surviving dwarves. Gandalf rides with him back to the Shire.
Oh, wait, you know what, though? That I did want to make this point, and I forgot to make it earlier. It's that when Bilbo leaves and all this is stuff that would have been better suited to take time on. Because when the battle's over, they give Bilbo his 1/13 share.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes and gives it to Bard. He doesn't want it. So he gives it to Bard, and then the rest of the dwarves like, well, look, man, you really helped us out. You really need something. And he's like, well, I'll just take 2 chests. And that's all he took. So he could have gotten so much more, but he only took 2 chests because he knew it'd be more than enough to make him be, rich beyond rich in the Shire. Mm-hmm. So he's like, I don't need any more. All that could have been in there for character development for Bilbo, I think.
I thought the chest that he returned to the Shire with was the one that they left in the troll cave.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
That might have been what they did in the movie. Matter of fact, I think that is what they did.
Yeah, because he tells Frodo that it was just one small chest and it smells of troll.
Yeah.
And when he's leaving Erebor, he doesn't have a chest, and then later he does.
Yeah. In the story, he gives his share to Bard for all the trouble, and then just takes 2 chests for himself, which is a cool point. I don't know why they skipped over that.
Yeah, we had to get Toriel's broken heart in there.
Yeah, and it shows that Bilbo could be selfless, or it could be that none of that matters because Bilbo has his ring, so he doesn't really care about all this. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You could have played that a bunch of different ways.
Yeah. Well, I think they probably tried to do that with the whole Arkenstone thing, where he said that was his share and then he gave it to Bard. I mean, if they'd have done it again, that would have been kind of redundant.
Yeah, well, maybe they should have just done it the real way.
Yeah, probably.
So they get back to the Shire, and Bilbo tells Gandalf that he lost the ring, which of course isn't true. Bilbo sees a bunch of hobbits. Yeah. Bilbo sees a bunch of hobbits walking around with his stuff, and he rushes back to his house, and he sees that they're auctioning off all his possessions because they think he was dead.
I love all this, by the way.
So the auctioneer wants proof that he's actually Bilbo Baggins. So he shows him the contract that Thorin gave him as proof of his identity and gets all this shit back, I guess.
Yeah.
We then go back to old Bilbo sitting there writing when he hears a knock at the door, and he yells out that he doesn't want any visitors, well-wishers, or distant relations, and he hears, "What about very old friends?" And Bilbo goes to answer the door, and we see the map of Erebor, and so kicks off Lord of the Rings. The end.
Mm-hmm.
Ish.
Yeah. I really like the auction and everything, because that just showed, like, hobbits are gonna hobbit. And they're like, he's been gone too long, and this is just sitting here. We need to do something about it. Hobbits are awesome.
It's like Kramer. How long did Kramer give somebody to come out of a coma before you can start ransacking their stuff?
I forget what it was. Yeah, I mean, how long are you supposed to wait?
So after a month, he wakes up. He's thrilled. He's out of the coma. All his stuff's gone. Cleaned out.
What didn't they say it had been like 3 years or something?
I can't remember. I will say that something that I left the movie, surely I couldn't be the only one. I left the movie wondering, I thought there were 5 armies.
Well, the Eagles are an army.
Huh?
The Eagles are an army.
That's kind of the way they did it, but that isn't even it. I mean, so if we go by their count, you got eagles, you got dwarves, you got men, you got elves, and you got orcs.
Yeah.
But that isn't the way it was supposed to be. And the reason it wasn't because they didn't take time with other things, which once again, use better time management. But to most people, you wouldn't consider the eagles an army, right?
It's a flock.
Yeah, a flock. Sure.
I don't
It
know.
was just it was confusing to me.
They've
Like,
all
you
got
didn't-
names and cultures and hobbies. I think it's kind
I
of eagle
understand,
racist to say
yes.
they can't be an army.
I understand, but in the context of the movie, you wouldn't consider them an army.
No, you're right.
Like in the books, it's very clear who the 5 armies are. In the movie, it wasn't so clear where the 5 armies are.
Who's the 5th army in the book?
It's you got goblins, wolves, men, elves, and dwarves.
Okay.
Remember, the wolves have voices and arts and
Yes.
crafts and things like that too.
Yes, they weave baskets and everything. Yeah. But I think in the movie, instead of saying eagles, what they actually said was you had 2 armies of orcs. You had the Gundabad orcs and the
Dol Guldur.
Dol
orcs.
Guldur orcs. That was their rationale for that. And then men, elves, and dwarves. Which-
Okay. Whatever.
Yeah, it's just confusing because most people walked out of that movie thinking, yeah, it's one army of orcs. Considering, yeah, they came from 2 different places, but they're still one army. You know,
Yeah.
they had 2 different factions of dwarves. You wouldn't say that's 2 armies. I don't know. It was confusing and misleading.
I gotcha. You're not wrong.
Speaking of not being wrong, Blake,
Oh, I do have some. Yeah. So I have one
look,
thing.
Play the music.
Yeah, there was one thing that when I went back and listened, I realized I was like, oh shit, you kind of the way I glossed over a subject, it would have. I don't want it to come off wrong. So when John asked me who is Sauron, I said that he was in Valar and he was underneath Morgoth, which is true, but that not originally. He started out. He was an underling of Aule the Smith, who created the dwarves. By the way, another awesome story which we could tell later. But so that's where he learned his smith skills, hence him making the Ring of Power and all that. And I was wrong that he is not on the same level as Gandalf. He is actually a higher order of Maya, far beyond Gandalf when he was created. And then the Ring of Power just kind of amped it up even more. So there you go. There's my correction.
Okay. I figured he would have to be more powerful than Gandalf for Gandalf to be afraid of him.
Yeah, I was wrong about that. I thought it was just the ring that made him more powerful, but he's a higher order of Maya. He's like one of the first ones to be created. And the ones that came later, like the Ishtari, are far weaker than him. So boom.
There you go.
Corrected.
Yes.
So is he originally more powerful than Galadriel?
Who, Sauron?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, not even in the same fucking ballpark.
Yeah. But
Because she's just an elf.
in his unphysical form, she wipes the floor with him.
Yes, because he's weakened. Now, if she be going against like Anatar, like that's Sauron before he turns into Sauron. Yeah, they're not even playing the same fucking game because she's just an elf.
Smushed.
Yeah, she's an elf,
But
he's
she's
a
more powerful
very-
than Gandalf.
No.
Well, then why is Gandalf all getting slapped around by Sauron and then she blasts him off into the next hemisphere?
For the movie. None of that happens in the books. No, she's not more powerful than Gandalf at all. She's an elf. He's a god. Well, not a god, but like,
Because they
more than-
play her up as being more than just an elf. She's more than meets
Well-
the eye.
people like Galadriel, so they're gonna give her that part. But no, none of that fucking happened.
Well, there you go.
And if they were to get into a battle of like a light show against each other, Gandalf will whip her ass.
There you go. The Hobbit Part 3. None of that shit happened.
Yeah, none of that shit happened. But yeah, she is one of the when the elves were born or awoke, when the elves woke up on Middle Earth, some of them sought out Valinor and were accepted to go to Valinor, the Undying Lands. She's one of them. And then eventually they come back. And when she goes back to Middle-earth, she's Galadriel, but they're considered like high elves. Because some elves stayed behind, so they never got to see Valinor, like Legolas and his people. They stayed behind. So, anyway. Galadriel is also part of a big, like, she didn't have a direct hand, but she was definitely marching with the people. There's a huge fucking genocide of elf-on-elf violence in Valinor, and she's part of it. A lot of people don't like to talk about that.
Cue Rick Moranis and Spaceballs. Everybody get that?
Yeah.
Ay, ay, ay.
But anyway, I have to say this since we are doing a Hobbit episode, and I don't care. So, dwarves get a bad rap in Middle-earth for some reason, and elves get all the hype. And they always talk about how the elves were the first ones to awaken on Middle-earth before humans and dwarves. And I need to present my case that isn't true. The dwarves came first. Am I allowed to do this? Yes, I am. I'm doing it. I don't need your permission. The Valar Aule, who's a smith, he secretly goes to Middle-earth without God knowing, and he starts creating these people out of rocks. Hence them being stronger and all that, because like I said, they're literally made of rocks. So he makes them out of stone and everything, and he gives them kind of somewhat life, where they function, but they don't think for themselves. They just kind of move the way he wants them to move, you know? They don't think for themselves. But they're there. They're doing everything they can. Well, Eru Ilúvatar, God, sees this happening, confronts Aule and says, you know, I'm the one that creates life, not you. This is an abomination. And Aule's like, well, you know, if you want me to kill them all, I will. And he raises his hammer to crush all these little mindless rock people. And when he lifts his hammer, all of them cowered in fear. Because right at that second, Eru Ilúvatar gave them sentient life. So they weren't just mindless anymore. They had thought and everything. And then he said, I'm going to give you this gift, but you got to put them back to sleep so the elves will wake up before they do, because they're my chosen ones. So he does. So that means they were awake before the elves. They're the first people, better than elves. Boom.
Got him.
Yeah, that's a big problem. Like, I know it doesn't matter to anybody else, but to me, that's big shit right there. Now, anything else y'all want to know about Middle-earth? Because this is going to be the last time I get to talk about it.
No.
You want to know how Ents come around?
No.
Or anything else? Jesus.
Nobody does.
It's an awesome story.
Oh my god. Okay.
It's been there for a long time, but a lot of people don't know why, and they're pretty cool. not really that cool. They exist because of a domestic dispute between Valar. That's pretty cool.
A domestic dispute, like on cops?
No, not on cops. But yeah, you know, in my colorful way of explaining things, it's a domestic dispute. See, now I got you interested.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Yes, I do. We're only at an hour. We're good.
Yeah, okay. We're only at an hour. Let's do the other thing we discussed.
Oh, shut up. Even though, damn it. Awesome.
So, we decided to give you guys a little bonus since the last episode was late. And we're going to do a little, very, very brief little session on the new Mortal Kombat movie, which released today, which is the day we recorded this on a Friday. We all watched it, and I know we're all itching to talk about it. So we're going to do a quick little gab sesh. Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
I liked it.
How did everybody feel about it?
I liked it. There are some things that was lacking.
I had ups and downs.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's like a B-.
Yeah. That's how I'm feeling
maybe,
too.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for a good portion of the movie, I was thinking you are gonna have fatalities in this Mortal Kombat movie, aren't you?
They didn't go ridiculous often enough.
Yeah, the way the people talked about it before was like, oh, all the brutal fatalities are there and all that, and like, yeah,
It's like
a couple of them were.
there's like 3.
Yeah, and
4.
they came out of left field because they happened like toward the last third of the movie. They
Right.
didn't have anything quite that violent up to that point, and then you're just like, oh, holy shit!
And then Kung Lao's like, let's turn this bitch up to 11.
Yes. Yeah, like they set a good tone in the beginning, telling the story of, Sub-Zero killing Scorpion's family.
Mhm.
And when he's fighting the ninjas in the woods and he makes the harpoon out of the trowel, that was all awesome. I said, okay, they're setting a good tone with this. And then it just drug for a while, like until Kung Lao happened,
Yeah.
where not a whole lot went down. And then, Reptile happened, and like I guess that was okay.
I really didn't like Reptile. Didn't like it.
Well, they based him more after Deadly Alliance Reptile,
Yes.
where he was a lizard.
Right. I just didn't like it.
Yeah.
One thing that I did have a chuckle at whenever Shang Tsung's bringing all his people in and you see Cabal and Melina and then this guy that nobody's ever heard of before. And as soon as I saw him, I said, oh, you're fucked, buddy. You ain't making it out of this one alive.
Upon some research, he is a character in the games.
He is?
Yeah. He's from later, a little later in the series. At first, he's just some big guy. And then when they introduced weapons into the series, he gets the big hammer. But he is a character in the games.
Oh.
Well, what about
He
that,
like his
winged
wins
lady?
like there was
Natara's definitely a character.
yeah, Natara is a character.
Okay.
She's a vampire.
Not anymore.
Yeah. But his windscreen in one of them, I was reading it. There was some theories for a while that he is actually Shao Kahn, like just
Right.
pretending not to be Shao Kahn because his windscreen shows him putting on the Shao Kahn helmet. But Boone and Tobias cleared it up and they said that no, he's actually just really into Shao Kahn and wants to aspire to be like him, so he has a helmet like his. So it's not that. He's just some big asshole.
I was just laughing to myself because as soon as he showed up, I was like, oh, buddy.
You're cannon fodder.
If anybody's got an X on their back, it's you. But I felt like the entire movie, to me, felt like the pointing Leonardo DiCaprio meme.
Yeah,
Yes.
it was very fan servicey.
Yeah, like Sonya Blade's wall with all the stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and you saw like Kotal Khan and all that. I'm like,
Yeah.
there it is. I saw it.
And that was the stuff though that I didn't mind. But the things that bothered me the most were the lines, like who the fuck says as they're dying, fatality.
And that was
It's
weird.
insane.
Yeah.
There was some
And then
goofiness, sure.
Why would Scorpion, who's spoken nothing but Japanese the entire movie, suddenly say "get over here"?
Because he has to, John.
It's,
I understand
it's
he
just
has to.
like leave that out. You don't have to.
Well, you can't leave that out.
Yes, you can.
No, you can't.
I
You
can't
cannot have
imagine-
Scorpion in you cannot have Scorpion in a movie and him not say "get over here."
I can't imagine a single person who would have been like, "Man, I wish he would have said get over here."
I'm raising my hand.
I think
right
most
now.
people would have been questioning, why didn't they have Scorpion say get over here?
Yeah, I'm pissed off that they fought in the pit and nobody got uppercutted down into the spike.
I was waiting for that. They set that up, like, big time.
Yeah,
Like, that's
I was
clearly
like,
the
Hammer
pit.
dude's going down, but he
No, he got the head clap.
got the head clap. Yeah,
I mean, I like the head clap more personally.
yeah. They could have come up with another nameless fuck that they could have thrown down there though.
So was Jax's Arcana growing robot arms that were better than...
That's what it appears. That's what it appears to be. I did like how they did that though, like the explanation for their superpowers and all, like that. that was cool to me.
Yeah, I didn't mind that at all.
But yeah, just better robot arms as your superpower. Okay.
Could be something shitty. Could be a frisbee hat.
Yeah.
Kano was pretty good.
I liked Kano. Whenever Cole asked Sonya, "Where's your mark?" and in the background he goes, "Wah wah." I thought that was pretty good.
I have to think that they're going to bring him back some kind of way.
You know they will. And I'll tell you why. She stabbed him through his laser eye.
Yeah, so he's going to have the metal eye.
He's going to have the metal eye. They're going to bring him back. And if you think about it, it goes along with, like, he didn't show up in Mortal Kombat 2 because he was supposedly dead. And then he was back in 3.
Mm-hmm.
And allegedly, this is kind of following, like, the timeline created in Mortal Kombat 10, where it all started over again.
Mm-hmm.
Like, time got reset, basically. So they're kind of basing it on that.
Well, I mean, they've got 4 more movies to do it in.
And I'm looking forward to them. I was hoping that we'd see, a Bihan turn into Noob Saibot, and sure enough, that's definitely going to happen.
Yeah, they couldn't have been more clear that was happening.
Yeah. They beat that over their head. And once they say old Joe's coming back for more movies, it's like, well, we know what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Sub-Zero was pretty great.
It was. Movie. Yeah, he was pretty good. I didn't like Scorpion's mask.
It looked like big buck teeth.
Exactly. It caught a certain angle and it looked like buck teeth, and then that's all I see now. It looks like the kids on A Christmas Story telling Miss Shields good morning.
I know it's supposed to be like skull-like, but it doesn't read.
It looked like buck teeth. It was bad. So hopefully they change that up.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, there was that big long drag where they were setting everything up, building the team. Then Kung Lao teleports in like, oh, now we're gonna get good. And then the fight happens, and then he buzzsaws Natara, like, okay, here we go. Now we're gonna start doing some Mortal Kombat shit. And then it died down again.
Yeah, technically there's only 4 fatalities from the game, which I think were the 4 people. Well, no, because Goro died unceremoniously too. But so you had Kung Lao's hat one.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You had Liu Kang do the dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Jax did the head clap.
Mm-hmm.
And Sonya shot the beam through the sternum.
Mm-hmm.
That was fucking lame.
That was lame, but that is one of her fatalities. So.
I know. It's just like
Scorpion.
Yeah.
Scorpion did his.
Yeah, 5.
Kano did the heart rip.
That's 6. Never mind. This movie had more fatalities than I thought.
Liu Kang turned into a baby.
Well, I said that he turned into the dragon. Yeah, they could have thrown in a friendship or a brutality or something, but maybe that'll come in later.
Throw a babality in there.
I really wanted them just to go fucking apeshit in this movie. And I'd have been all for it.
If when Cole uppercutted Goro, a little toasty came up in the pot.
I'd be fine with it. Like, if his daughter, like, who was screaming for her life, just said it, like, while he uppercut him. Oh. Like, I just wanted it to be just so far out there. Like, it's what I want, like, Godzilla movies and all to be. Just give me the monsters fighting.
Yeah.
I don't care about nothing else. Just give me the monsters.
It was very close to that.
Yeah.
They got a lot of story building done up front, and then it just kind of went to, like, when Cole devised a plan on how they were going to win, it just happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It reminded me of Bill and Ted, where like, hey, remember to put a gun here, and then the gun's there. Hopefully, maybe in the subsequent movies they'll have a little more action. Now that we've told the story, maybe we can see an actual tournament. Like, I would like. Yeah,
are they going to save up the actual tournament for movie 5?
I hope not. Movie 2 should be the tournament. Like, let them go to Outworld and have a tournament.
Well, movie 2 has to be building the new team. I'm telling
Anyway.
you, they're gonna hang on. Like they've got the clearance. They've already got the movies. The contract's done. They're doing 5 movies.
Yeah, so they're gonna have to bring in the new
not
Sub-Zero.
necessarily. Like they don't as just because they've signed somebody for 5 movies doesn't mean they're making 5 movies.
They're making 5 movies.
I'm about to say, listen to this fucking killjoy over here. Somebody doesn't like fun.
I'm trying to let you guys know.
Somebody doesn't like fun. Anyway, the only other criticism I got is they did have I don't know if it was a choreography problem or a cinematography problem. A lot of these fights were shot too close up. So you couldn't really see what was going on.
I think they did that because some of them, the fights actually weren't that good.
But, okay, so when you got 2 people, like when you had Scorpion and Sub-Zero fighting, man, show that playing out.
Yeah.
I feel
they
like
had the best fights.
They did, yes. Those are the best parts of the movie.
They were, but I think some of the other fights were lacking. Okay,
like
I'll
Melina
give them
and Sonya was bad.
It was bad. I think Cole and Goro was bad.
Yeah.
Like, and I wanted to see more of Goro, man.
I'm surprised they killed Goro off so fast. Well, I guess because Shao Kahn warps Goro's body away too.
Yeah. So I guess he'll come back.
Yeah. Does Goro become Kintaro or something? I don't know how all that works.
No, it's a totally different person.
No. Yeah, like it seemed like just some of the fights were really lackluster, so they had to just zoom in on like these 2 don't fight very well. They're not martial artists, so
yeah. I thought Melina looked really cool though.
I like how they did.
Yeah.
Her face like ripped open when she opened her mouth all the way. And
I like that. But then as soon as that happened, it was done.
I loved Cabal until he spoke.
I 100% agree.
No, I didn't mind him.
His voice is I don't know if it's his voice or the lines they gave him, but I mean, he looks cool as shit. And
he sounded like a cartoon mobster.
Yeah, it sucked.
I didn't mind it, but I will say, yeah, he definitely looked like awesome.
Yeah, as soon as I saw him, I said, "Oh my god, they did my boy Cabal good."
Yeah, one of the best looking ones in the movie.
Hey, what do you know there? I'm Cabal. Like, oh no.
Don't take off my mask. It looks like spaghetti. So, oh well, can't have it all, I guess.
Yeah. And I had no interest in Cole at all.
No.
His Arcana is getting the shit kicked out of him.
Yeah. And then, okay, so before, I remember trading theories with y'all about who Cole was. I had all these crazy theories. One of them, somebody said it was the reincarnated Scorpion. Like, I read that somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as Scorpion's old lady hid that baby, I was like, descendant of Scorpion. I mean, it was that simple.
Yes.
But they could have had an everyman come better than that. You know, that was kind of weak.
I mean, it's like
they couldn't have.
Hate the idea, you know, because they set it up that he takes the beating, set it up early, and then that kind of becomes his powers. He can take a beating and then turn it back on.
Yeah, but then they just ripped it off of Black Panther, though.
Yeah, sure. I mean, do you think he'll become Scorpion later or something?
No, because Scorpion's Scorpion.
I don't know.
Maybe he'll be like Cyrax.
He's like, all right, I'm going back to hell now.
Well, he said, I'm free now.
Yeah, he said he's free.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I'm ready to see more of it, though. There are certain characters that I'm wanting to see. I'm wanting to see Cyrax and Sector. I want to see Johnny Cage.
Who's going to play Johnny Cage?
I heard The Miz is trying real hard to be Johnny Cage. That don't mean anything, but I don't know who you'd get. Jean-Claude Van Damme? Put him in. Why not?
Geriatric Johnny Cage.
Chris Evans. Get Chris Evans in there.
He would never do it.
Well, they couldn't afford him.
Yeah, exactly. He's got all that Avenger money. He's fine.
Yeah. I think he'd make a good Johnny Cage, though.
He really would. But instead, they're going to have to settle for somebody else. Because he ain't going to do it.
They're definitely going to bring Shao Kahn in.
Yeah.
If they bring Shao Kahn in, they're bringing Katana in.
Yes. Well, they showed her fan in
Yeah.
the background. Another one of
Yeah,
those pointing
just
moments. There it is.
Yeah, there was just Mortal Kombat shit laying all over the place.
Exactly.
There's a billion more ninjas they can bring into it.
Oh yeah, Smoke, Rain, Ermac, all kind of shit. And then if you really want to get deep into the thing, you could have Triborg. He was in 9 or 10, I can't remember, but it was Cyrax Sector and Robot Sub-Zero all put into one.
Damn.
Triborg.
Then you could get Rambo and the Terminator. And
Yeah, I was gonna say.
You can have Frost. Like, Frost is like part of the Lin Kuei and can do.
Mm-hmm.
She becomes Grandmaster and can wield ice and everything. She eventually becomes a robot too, though.
Everybody becomes robots in Mortal Kombat.
Does a weird. Did a weird job setting some things up, like Scorpion or Sub-Zero just says like for the Lin Kuei one time, and you never find out what their beef is.
Right.
And then there's like this. There's this text card that sort of tries to explain stuff, but if you don't know Mortal Kombat, it sounds like nonsense. Like, what the fuck is Earthrealm? What tournament? Who's out?
I saw somebody write that they said they made this movie for the fans and only the fans.
Yes.
I was like,
that's
okay.
fair. I really don't. I mean, I haven't played one of these games since 3, so I don't, and I never understood the story. So,
3 was the last one I was super into, but I've played subsequent ones, just not heavily.
Yeah, after 4 came out, I didn't like 4, and I didn't pick it back up until Armageddon. And then after Armageddon, I've had every one of them. But in 10, it restarts. So it goes back to, it's the first tournament all over again. Like from more, like, or was it even, they just called it Mortal Kombat. It didn't even have a number on it anymore. So it was like the first one starting over again, but with all the new people, new mechanics and all that. And now you got Mortal Kombat 11 is the latest one that just continued that timeline. Because they even have a villain, Chronica, I think is her name, that, controls time and all that shit.
And that's the one with Rambo and
yes.
and Terminator and Bill Clinton and all these crazy characters.
Exactly.
Well, they've been doing that for a while though. Like 10 had Leatherface and like
Freddy Krueger and shit. Which is I like having all that stuff. That's cool.
Jaws. The Amityville Horror House.
I'd love to see that. That'd be hilarious.
They show, and that was all the little shit they showed in the background. Like they showed, like I said, they had Kotal Khan on her little wall, and they had Nightwolf on there too.
Nightwolf. I saw somebody pointed out. There's a drawing of a centaur that they're thinking is Motaro.
Well, I'm sure it is. So I don't know. I dug it. By no means is it like the best movie ever, but it's not. It's not gonna be Citizen Kane. It's Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, some of my other like little nitpicks are I wish there wasn't so much CG blood.
Yeah.
I understand why you would do it during like choreographed fights. Like it'd be almost impossible to really like get
squib
the timing
that
right on. Yeah.
It's kind of hard to slice some
smash. Like give me a practical head smash.
Yeah.
Give me a Rikio.
Right. It'd be kind of hard to slash somebody and freeze the blood midair and stab them with it, not CG. So.
Sure.
Which was awesome. I wish they wouldn't have shown that in the trailer.
Did cool shit all over the place.
I really liked Sub-Zero's how they visualized his powers.
Yes.
It wasn't like cartoony icicles. It was very realistic looking how ice would grow.
Yep. I like that he did the ice sword and all that.
Mm-hmm. The ice wall is a move too, isn't it? Where he makes the ice wall and throws him through it. Yeah.
Yep, and he even did the ice clone too.
Yeah, I caught that too. I love that they did the spamming a sweep kick.
Yes.
That was pretty funny. I felt like the entire training section of the movie was really bad. Like,
It was.
training wasn't. They didn't train them. They just like fought
Beat the shit
them
out of them.
Yeah.
and used like deadly weapons on them. It's not training.
Denied them egg rolls.
Yeah, it's like Kung Lao just cut Cole's arm off so he can't fight anymore, like right away. It's like, how about train him a little bit before you go hard like that?
Yeah, Raiden basically says, y'all need to be ready in 4 hours. And Kung Lao goes to slicing motherfuckers.
It's wild shit.
The guy play. Yeah, any of y'all watch the Marco Polo series on Netflix?
Yeah.
The dude that plays Shang Tsung was
Yeah.
that was an evil son bitch in Marco Polo.
Oh,
man.
yes.
Anyway,
I think I know him from the Dark Knight.
Mm-hmm.
Dark Knight.
He was like he was
He was
Chinese
the guy
dude
that
that had
Batman
all the-
extracts from that building with the plane.
Oh yeah, that was him.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah,
No.
I mostly remember him from Marco Polo too.
Yeah.
But he's been in a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, he's a good actor. But when he started binding that chick's feet in Marco Polo, I was like, you son of a bitch!
I wish they hadn't canceled that series.
I
It was
know.
so good.
It was very good. Yeah, I definitely go back and forth with whether I'm on the side of Kubla Khan or not.
Have you guys
Which
watched that Warrior show on HBO?
No, it's on my list to watch it, but I haven't watched it.
It's got Joe Taslim in it.
Oh, I didn't know he was in it. Well, then
He
all of a
is,
sudden
yeah.
I will watch it tonight.
It's pretty good, dude. It's pretty good. I have to say, I enjoy it very much.
Speaking of Joe Taslim, have any of y'all seen a little movie called The Raid? I know it's not very popular.
Mm-hmm.
Should
I
check it
have.
out if you've never heard of it. You should check it out.
I think he was in another movie called like The Night Comes for Us or something. That's fucking brutal as hell. It's another Indonesian action movie. I think it's on Netflix.
Okay.
But yes, The Raid slaps.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
So,
I guess that's it.
There's our 2 cents on the new Mortal Kombat movie.
I would like to say, if anybody does want to if any listeners want to contact me and hear about how the Ents came about, just let me know and we'll go into it.
Record a little video for the Facebook page.
I should.
You should put up a long-winded explanation of something, like every week. You do Tolkien Tuesdays with Blake.
Yeah, just explaining it
Just
in my
get
own
it
words.
get it out of your system.
I really like the contrast of explaining things in my own words because, like the real fans would never describe the Ents coming out of a domestic violence dispute. But that's the way it happened. Or an elf saying I'll never love again and throwing up blood. Never get that. Anyway,
Yeah.
maybe I'll think about doing that.
So, with that wraps up our 3-part special for The Hobbit. We'll go back to our one-offs for 3 more movies, and then we'll do another special. So, John, I think John's going to announce what our next movie is going to be.
So we're going back to the roots, baby. Bad movie classic right here. None of us have ever seen it, and I've been wanting to for years at this point.
Mhm.
We're going to be watching Hard Ticket to Hawaii. It's from 1987, hour and 36 minutes, directed by Andy Sidaris. I'm just running through the IMDb right now. It's got a 4.9 out of 10 stars. I know it stars at least one Playboy Playmate, maybe 2.
To give you an idea of the kind of movie.
Yeah, I mean, Andy Sidaris is kind of, he's known for it's action and tits. That's his deal. So, I was looking through his IMDb and I found this little tidbit that I love. Under alternate names, Andy Sidaris is also known as Dick Big Dickian.
Oh, man.
So that's funny. Anyway. So yeah, Hard Ticket to Hawaii is kind of, I think it's pretty notorious. You've seen GIFs from this movie before, I guarantee it.
Yes, yeah. You know, you said, what did you say he's known for action and tits?
Yeah.
Is that okay? So I'm just thinking, you know, to us that's a funny joke, but how cool would it be if, like, unbeknownst to you, somebody's talking about you, like, at a party, and they're like, "Hey, you ever met Chase or whatever?" It's like, "No, I haven't met him. I just seen him around." It's like, "Yeah, you know, he's known for action and tits." Like, that's a hell of an introduction.
Wait,
I can only hope that somebody would say that, you know?
Oh, you mean Dick Big Dickian?
Yeah. A lot of people don't realize it, but he's known for action and tits.
That's pretty much all you need to know, I think.
Yeah, I'm down for it. I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm excited for this one.
It'll be a good time. So, with that, we close out on Middle Earth, probably forever, unless Blake decides to do this thing.
I might do that.
Or we decide to watch that Russian Lord of the Rings.
Ooh, dude, it's got some... Oh, we'll talk later.
Did you watch it?
I've watched... I like skimmed through it. I didn't watch the whole thing. But I found some lovely scenes in it.
Can you see like street signs and stuff in the background where they're shooting and...
No, I'll just say this. You can end the show on this. When Gandalf shoots his fireworks, like, they couldn't afford fireworks, so he just opens his robe and there's like hand-drawn fireworks on pieces of paper.
Soviet Russia fireworks you. Thank you for listening to Garbage Theater. As always, you can find us online at facebook.com/Garbage Theater, on Twitter at Garbage_Theater, and on Instagram at Garbage_Theater. If you'd care to leave us a review on iTunes, we would very much appreciate it. And if you have a movie suggestion or just want to reach out to us, you can contact us at any of our social channels or email us directly at garbagetheaterpodcast@gmail.com. Don't forget to like and subscribe for all the latest episodes and happenings. Good night, and see you next time, folks.